Hello and welcome to Superpower Broadcasting. I'm your host, Kevin Castley. Thank you for tuning in today. We got a really tragic story out that the British Columbia Coroner's Office has reported that 486 people died suddenly over 5 days during the June heat wave in British Columbia that just occurred, and that this is in contrast to an approximate 165 sudden deaths that would normally be reported in this time period. So temperatures, of course, got up close to 50 degrees Celsius in some parts of the province, and throughout Vancouver, they were well over 40 degrees Celsius for much of that time. And this is seen, of course, what would be regarded by any regular person as basically an emergency, a provincial emergency. However, the province never actually issued a heat wave emergency, and I think that that's gross negligence on the part of the new Democratic government in British Columbia, and people need to be held to account for this. So, yeah, it definitely was not expected. There wasn't the preparation for it. Half of houses, roughly, in the province have no air conditioning whatsoever, and most of the casualties were elderly people, and basically this was something that you would think that the government would take very seriously, but no, no. So Horgan's government hasn't taken this seriously, and now, of course, as this is being reported now, and people have realized the magnitude of the tragedy, I expect that there will be some demand for accountability from ministers and the premier himself, hopefully, over this. He's already apologized for one of his statements that he said didn't reflect the severity of what happened. But I mean, this is something that's going to happen every now and then. You're going to have these kinds of heat waves happen, and you would hope at least that the province would take it more seriously in terms of, you know, allocating the amount of resources as an official emergency would, basically free up at the province's disposal. But you didn't have that happen. So, yeah, almost 500 people died in 5 days in British Columbia. And my guess is you're not really going to see much of a discussion about this. You haven't really seen much of the discussion about this outside of Canada and specifically BC, but it is kind of big news. This is a large number of people, obviously, and I figured that people should know about this. We normally talk about more international news, but I mean, you got to be kidding me! And the fact that the new Democratic government here really just was taken off guard by it. I mean, at some point, you have to say, okay, well, you're in a position where, yeah, you get paid a lot, you have a lot of responsibility. Well, what happens when you screw up? Like these guys screwed up. Well, I would hope to see resignations actually as a result over this. I mean, the New Democratic Party has basically been a joke in terms of the way that they've governed the province so far, but this really takes these things to the next level, right? I mean, you would expect any responsible government to see this. Maybe not the first day, but the second day and issue an emergency. They couldn't even do that. So unbelievable. Thank you for tuning in, though, and I will see you in the next video.